Good afternoon, Alexus, Love Beauties, and Flawless Man. We are reading from our daily bread in Romans chapter 5, verse 5. And hope maketh not ashamed, because the love of God is shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Ghost, which is given unto us. Lord, the news of the world has made me a clinic. I hear myself giving up and even bonding with loved ones over how we've all given up. We need to stop this idle criticism and take heart. God, you made us and you made us for hope. And there is no clearer promise than that your holy word. May your love take root in our hearts and make us into better friends, neighbors, and citizens of this vibrant world. Going back up to the reading in Romans chapter 5, verses 5, and hope maketh us not ashamed, because the love of God is shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Ghost, which is given unto us. So because we have the Spirit of the Lord living within us, we have the Holy Ghost, which is given unto us, it is possible that hope maketh not ashamed, because the love of God is within us. When we begin to look at our lives and unpeel the layers of the different things that we have endured, you may feel some shame or some guilt or some regret or some resentment towards yourself, towards God in general. But the hope that you have that the Lord is working on your heart to make you a better person, all of that shame and guilt will leave because the Lord is within you, and you will realize that the Lord loves you and that it was necessary for you to actually live through what you lived through. Learn the hard tasks that you had to learn, and then you'll have that hope that God is doing a new thing and that this is nothing but love. An example of that was the hardest thing that I had to talk about was the seven-part series of Explain Why Men and Women Are Whores, because when I read it for myself, it was a very hard topic to read, and then to have to put it out into the world, it was even harder. So, I mean, you can just tell anybody to go to Jeremiah and read that. But actually having that learning behind it and experiencing the things that I read in my own life, it was at the same time hard because I had to present it to you all. And I also had to come into acceptance of that was some of the life that I've lived myself. But because I had the hope that, okay, the Lord is going to bless me with this message to say like I need to, and then also behind the scenes, I'm going to get the healing that I need behind it. That is the only reason why I was able to go forth with that, because I know that the Lord loves me, and sometimes the truth hurts. So that was one of the things that hurt it, but it was the truth, and I know it was coming from the love of God, because I've never been told those things before, which I needed to be told. Going down into the person, their testimony, they said the Lord, the world, and the news and everything that is going around has just made me feel like giving up. I have even had moments in my mind where I sat and cried with my family about us giving up. But we need to stop the give up talk, and we just need to take heart. We need to take heed to that. No matter what is going on in the world, we still have hope in our hearts, even if it's the little hope of a mustard seed, the faith of a mustard seed. So there's no giving up. Sometimes we might have to take a break. We might have to step back. We might have to think. We may have to breathe. We might have to meditate. But we need to stop with the give up talk and stop focusing so much on the world. And this is what helps us get the hope that we need just to continue to go forth. The person in their testimony said, God, you made us and you made us for hope. And there is no clearer promise than that your holy word. The word, Lord, is a promise, and he speaks clearly through his promises. He speaks clearly about the trials and tribulations that you have to face, and he also speaks clearly about the promises. So because of that, it makes us easier to have this hope. And the person said, may your love take root in our hearts and make us better as friends, neighbors, citizens, and just in this vibrant world. The world is not the problem. The individual people are the problems, because some people are not doing what they need to do to dig deep into what their actual problem is. And since we still live in the world, it looks like the world is the problem, but the world is not the problem. The world is a beautiful place. The world is vibrant. There is birds flying in the firmament. There is flowers growing from the ground. There is wind outside. There's a fresh air. There's a fresh anointing. Come on, Jesus. So it's not the world. It's just that we need help with our hearts being better. We need help with our level of hope and faith that we have. And then when we do that, we become better people. We become better friends and neighbors and the citizens as a whole. So Alexus, love, beauties, and flawless man. When you get time today, I encourage you to read Romans chapter 5, verses 5, and understand that you don't have to be ashamed because you have hope. And you're doing something to better yourself, to become a better person in general. And just understand that because you are doing what you're doing to become a better person, that you have the hope of God. You have God within you. And sometimes the truth may hurt when it comes from God. Sometimes when you read, your feelings may hurt, or sometimes when you pray, you might cry. But understand that those are all emotions that the Lord is wanting from you, so he can correct you and he can heal you and give you the proper love that you desire, that you need through the time that you need it through. So don't be afraid to talk to God. Don't be afraid to cry. Don't be afraid of the hard truth. Sometimes we haven't been raised in the way that we need to, or sometimes people didn't have the information that they needed. So when we get that from God, it may be a little hard to look at, it may be a little hard to read, but just know that we need that, and always know that no matter what it is that you're going through, God still loves you. I love you, and have a fantastic Sunday.